Right now, Stellantis is quietly living through one of the worst engine stretches in its history. And if you own a Jeep, Ram, Dodge, or Chrysler, some of this is going to hit a little too close to home. You've probably seen the headline number, over 700,000 vehicles pulled worldwide. But here's the thing that number hides. It actually undersells the problem for Americans. The US engine troubles alone blow right past 700,000. One engine on this list was fitted to roughly 1.6 million vehicles in the States. We're talking fire risks, cracked housings, sudden shutdowns, oil-burning fours, and one recall so botched they had to recall the fix. 5 Stellantis engines every US buyer needs to know about, and the one at number 1 is still catching fire on driveways as we speak. Number 5. 2.0-liter Hurricane 4 Turbo. The 2.0-liter Hurricane 4 Stellantis turbocharged 4-cylinder shows up in the gas Jeep Wrangler and Cherokee as the fuel-friendly alternative to the bigger motors. On paper, it's the smart, sensible pick. In practice, it's where a lot of owners learned that small and modern doesn't always mean trouble-free. The core issue is that this is a tightly packed, direct-injection turbo engine working hard in a heavy vehicle, and heat is the enemy. Owners have reported oil leaks, cooling system headaches, and the kind of check engine surprises that turn a quick errand into a tow. Because it's a direct injection design, it's also prone to carbon building up on the intake valves over time, the same gremlin that haunted the early EcoBoost 4s, which can slowly choke performance if you're not staying ahead of maintenance. None of this means every 2.0-liter is doomed, and plenty run fine when they're babied with fresh synthetic oil and short service intervals. But that's the point. This engine punishes neglect in a way the old cast-iron Jeep motors never did. Skip an oil change or feed it cheap gas, and it lets you know it's the entry-level engine that quietly asks for premium-level care. But the next one turns that needs babysitting problem into something far more expensive, because it drinks oil like it's thirsty. Number 4. 2.4-liter Tigershark. The 2.4-liter Tigershark, often paired with Fiat's multi-air valve system, powered a huge chunk of everyday Stellantis vehicles. The Jeep Cherokee, Compass, and Renegade, plus the Dodge Dart and Chrysler 200. It was never meant to be exciting. It was meant to be cheap, efficient, and dependable transportation. It missed on the last one. The Tigershark's signature problem is oil consumption, and not the trivial kind. Plenty of owners found their engines burning through a quart every 1,000 to 2,000 miles, sometimes worse, with no visible leak and no warning until the oil light flickered on. The danger is obvious. Run one of these low on oil a few times and you're looking at knocking, stalling, or a seized engine. The low oil warning often came late too, so drivers who trusted the dashboard sometimes trusted it right into a repair bill. Here's why this still matters in 2026 and isn't just old history. Stellantis's own filings put the Tigershark in roughly 1.6 million US vehicles, and the class action settlement stretched the powertrain warranty to 7 years or 100,000 miles. Do the math on a 2019 or 2020 model, and that safety net is expiring right now, just as these cars flood the used market at tempting prices. A buyer picking one up today is often buying a known oil burner the moment after its coverage runs out. It's the engine that turns checking your dipstick into a survival habit, and there are over 1 million of them out there. The next one has no dipstick at all to check, because Stellantis decided owners didn't need one, right as they rolled out one of their most controversial engines yet. Number 3. 3.0-liter Hurricane Inline-Six. This is the engine Stellantis bet the whole company on. The 3.0-liter Hurricane, a twin-turbocharged Inline-Six, was built to replace the beloved Hemi V8 across the Ram 1500, Jeep Wagoneer, and Dodge Charger. More power, better fuel economy, fewer emissions. The pitch was excellent. The rollout has been rocky. Owners have reported misfires, harsh restarts, sudden power loss, and full shutdowns, often traced not to the hardware but to the truck's new Atlantis electrical brain and its finicky software. Stellantis has pushed a steady stream of technical service bulletins to reflash the computer, but only if the dealer actually applies them, and plenty of owners have bounced between shops chasing a problem the codes won't hold still long enough to diagnose. There's now a class action investigation into 2025 Ram 1500 trucks over exactly these complaints. Then there's the design itself. It's a tightly packed high-pressure turbo engine with plasma-sprayed cylinder bores instead of traditional liners. And Stellantis deleted the physical oil dipstick in favor of a sensor, so you're trusting electronics to tell you if it's running dry. Here's the tell that says everything. For 2026, Stellantis brought the Hemi V8 back. When you uncancel the engine, you canceled this one to replace, you've admitted something. The next engine, though, has been failing for over a decade, and they still haven't fully fixed it. Number 2. 3.6-liter Pentastar V6. The 3.6-liter Pentastar is the workhorse that's been under the hood of nearly everything Stellantis builds. The Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Charger, Chrysler 300, and Ram 1500. For well over a decade, it's mostly a solid engine, which is exactly why its recurring problems are so frustrating. It's a mature design that still trips over the same feet. The early 2011 to 2013 engines were notorious for left bank cylinder head failure, where a valve seat eroded and a valve could drop, wrecking the cylinder. Stellantis extended that head's warranty to 7 years or 70,000 miles, which tells you how widespread it was. Then there's the headache buyers face now, the plastic oil filter housing. It sits on top of the engine and cracks with age and heat, dumping oil and coolant, and ignoring it can starve the engine. Now the Pentastar also has one more thing working against it in 2026: sheer numbers. Millions went into Stellantis vehicles over the years, so used lots are packed with them right now, and the cracked housing failures are landing on exactly the higher mileage out-of-warranty examples buyers are shopping today. It can still be a good engine, as long as you know its weak spots and check for them before you sign. The last engine is a different story though. It's about fire, and it's happening right now. Number 1. Jeep 4xe 2.0-liter Turbo. Here's the one still making news. The 2.0-liter turbo in the Jeep Wrangler 4xe and Grand Cherokee 4xe, Stellantis's plug-in hybrids, is under an active U.S. recall covering roughly 112,859 vehicles, because debris left over from the sand casting process can be trapped inside the engine, leading to failure or an engine compartment fire. Regulators have warned owners about the risk of sudden power loss and fire, the kind of recall where park it outside, away from your house, becomes real advice. Now here's the part that turns a bad story into an embarrassing one. When Stellantis built replacement engines to fix the recalled ones, a batch of about 2,689 of those replacements went out with the very same sand casting defect. They had to recall the fix. That's not a typo. That's a company recalling the parts meant to solve the original recall. For buyers, this is the big one, because it's not a slow oil leak or a nagging misfire. It's a documented fire risk with an official campaign attached. If you're shopping a used 4xe, the VIN check isn't optional. It's the whole ballgame. It's the perfect symbol of this entire crisis, a fix that needed fixing. And that's the thread running through all 5 of these engines. So what ties all 5 together? It's not that Stellantis forgot how to build engines. It's that they chased fuel economy, emissions targets, and complexity faster than they could make it reliable. Then leaned on software patches and recalls to catch up. Sand in the castings, cracks in the plastic, bugs in the code, oil vanishing without a warning light. So if you're shopping any Jeep, Ram, Dodge, or Chrysler from these years, one free habit protects you more than anything. Run the VIN through the NHTSA recall site before you buy. And don't take a dealer's word that it's handled. The engines aren't all doomed, but right now, the paperwork matters as much as the test drive.